Let's talk about the Yojana edition this time, which focuses on Indian literature. Now, a lot of content here would be something that you would have to memorize. There could be direct questions that could be asked based on the content, based on the concept. So, what we would be doing is understanding the very fundamentals of the concept that have been given, and the more details that are related to rote learning would be available in our handout. So, feel free to watch out and see the handouts that are available at Exam Current Affairs section. You would have the links in the description below. Now, coming on to Indian literature. Now, a lot of information has been imparted either through oral means or through written means. Initially, the knowledge is started as oral means, and when there is a oral means of communication, as it has been here, there is a presenter who is there. However, when there is a written means of communication, when you are reading a book, there is absence of the author. So the views and the ideas of author are actually not pretty clear when it comes to a written view. But when it is a oral interaction, definitely you can raise the queries there and then itself. Now, there has been a lot of tradition that has been marked with the oral tradition, and that followed the Bhakti poetry systems. However, we have prayers from Rig Ved, chantings from Rig Ved, Upanishad, which talks about the importance of oral tradition and how knowledge was imparted from one generation to another. Most of our ancient universities like Nalanda, Takshila had excelled with oral knowledge that has been there. Now, coming on to the works of Kannada literature, Pampa has been one of the major scholars whose work have been compiled as a written book, and he has basically elaborated the narratives of Mahabharata. Now, the inscriptions in the writing are in its very pure and straightforward format. The status of writing has been well defined based on the language, based on the grammar that has been used, and he has also described a dancer which has been known as Nilanjane, and the stage and the mind of the spectators have been demonstrated under the book. Similarly, Harihar has worked a lot in the same way. Kumar Vyas has taught about the stories of Mahabharata in Kannada, and the idea was to revive the oral literature, and his concepts have been very important. Now, what was the idea which was laid down under the Pampa's work was his writing was continuous. He never erased what he wrote, and there was a palm and a leaf. Palm leaf and a stylus that was could always be heard. That means he was continuously writing, and that is how the style of writing slowly and gradually evolved in South. Similar to that, we also have a very famous ancient grammar which is known as Tholkapiyam. Now, this is a traditional grammatical regulations which have been there in place for thousands and thousands of years during the 5th and the 6th century, mainly during the Pandya king. Now, when we are talking about the grammar and the rules, there have been certain phrases and certain basis under which this has been preserved, and the main important idea is it has emerged more than 2500 years ago. There are three famous patterns related to it. The first, of course, as we said, is the Pandya king, the Pandayan, and later on we had the southern boundaries till Kumari, which actually represents the Kumari hill in South India. Also, we have seen Tamil speaking people even in Indus Valley civilization. So Tholkapiyam has talked about the same letters are said to have the dots, and the nature of consonant is to have the dots. Now, these dots are very significant in the Tholkapiyam or the grammar that has been written. Now, the most interesting part of the composition is there are three important segments that are there. One is the chapter which is based on alphabets, the chapter based on word, and the chapter based on content and form. The one on content and form is known as Porul Athikaram, the one on words is Kol Athikaram, and the one on alphabets is Iluthu Athikaram. Now, the chapter on alphabet is interesting. There are 30 primary letters from A to N, and each of these have 12 vowels and 18 consonants. Then there are 5 short vowels and 7 long vowels. Within these 12, there is further demarcation that is seen. Also, the consonants have been categorized as hard, soft, and medieval consonants that are there. So, there are a combination of vowel and consonant, and it accounts for nearly 216 vowels and consonant combinations that are there. And with these alphabet combinations, there are words that are formed. The three dots are known as a thumb, and then there are three dependent letters, the short u, the short e, as it has been explained. So, the birth of letters has been very, very important. Some of those have been depicted here, and this is basically under the Porul Athikaram, which is the chapter on content and form, where it divides the subject into two, the Athantinyai and the Purathinyai. The Athantinyai talks about the family life and the divine following. The next talks about the heroism, friendship, and external characteristics that could be represented. Now, when the letters are combined, there are 6 sections of the first chapter itself, which are reserved by Tholkappiyam, and this talks about which letter would join or collage with which letter. There would be a change in the consonant, addition or deletion of a consonant, or there would be a consonant without any change. Also, the first chapter talks about the letters, words, and the combination of words. The Kol Athikaram basically talks about the chapter on words. So, there can be declinable and non-declinable combinations. The one those could be declined and one those could not be declined. So, those combinations have been important, and those combinations are known as Tokai. So, Tokai is another important word, and Thinal means the virtue of the character, which is very, very special and sometimes being utilized as a poetic component. So, there are 9 different forms of adverbs that have been used: present tense, verbal forms, and sometimes the future and the present tense is said in such a way that past tense is also utilized in that. So, again, that is important. When it comes to declinable combinations, there are numerous case markers. Now, case markers are important. Some of the case markers we have mentioned here. Sometimes only noun is declinable, and sometimes there are the gender differences that are said. So, it talks about two thin eyes, which is the virtue, the superior and the inferior. The superior talks about the male, female, and the plural gender of the persons. However, inferior being talks about the singular and the plural gender, but not of the people. Then indeclinable attributes or combinations basically talks about 124 words, and these words are selective based on the poems that they are applied of that age. The next is the 4 types of words. Now, the 4 types of words are the words that are used in the native language in Tamil. There could be synonyms or homonyms. There could be dialects that could be used in 12 different parts, and there could be words of northern land that could be used. Then there are formation of phrases that have been mentioned. So, there could be appositional, elliptical, or compound formation that could be seen. Then Porul Athikaram basically talks about the content and the form. So, it focuses on the divine love and the family life, as we said. So, there have been 4 different links that have been mentioned. Those are the woods, the hills, the agro tracts, the seas, the desert, and then how these turn into the hills and the woods turn into desert during the summer months have been explained, and the various characteristics revealed with those like love, grace, sympathy, hatredness have been taken into account. There are 5 different mental attributes that have been taken into account, which are Mullai, Kurinj, Mathuram, Ninthyal, and Palai, which are important. Then when we talk about the singularities, the grammar in Tamil is basically a grammar of spoken and written words. There are expertise and excerpts from the past which are part of the grammatical content, and the usage of language is much beyond just the language, but it also incorporates into the culture, the history, and the environmental settings of Tamil Nadu. Now, when we talk about 6 senses, there are 6 senses that have been explained under Tholikappiyam, which basically talks about the bodily realizing, the tongue, nose, eye, ear, and mind. Now, each of the animals have different senses that they use. Human beings are unique because they have the capability to use all the 6 senses at a go. However, there are some lower order animals like ants, which can use only 3 of the senses, snail which can use only 2 of the senses, and so on and so forth. Now, if we talk about the evolution of Indian literature, it has been unique. India has been producing a series of literature from north and south, and there has been sometimes commonality in the culture that is there. Sometimes there is divergence and uniqueness in the culture, in the language, in the literary tradition that has been seen. So, when it comes to the period of Dark Ages in Europe, we have seen a series of literatural development that has been seen in India, and India basically gained a prominent position during the European Dark Ages. Now, what kind of content developed? The content that developed focused on sciences, focused on grammar, literature, economic and political literature. So there have been a variety of works that have been given, and we have numerous literature and numerous content that has basically seen its origin in India. It focuses from Sutra, Doha, and a lot more. Now, Bharat gave the concept of Natya Shastra in the north. There have been tales and proverbs and songs in the south, and so on and so forth. Now, when it comes to generation, we have seen there have been bilingual content, multilingual content, content in many languages. There have been content from local textures of everyday life. There have been content based on the foreign capital and technology inflow. There has been Indian literature which has seen its multicolored and multicultural aspects. So, whenever you have travelers moving from one country to another, going back and forth, there has been a evolution of culture, a evolution of literature that has been seen. Urdu, no doubt, has been an Indo-Aryan language which is now part of the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution, has a deep root, be it Nizamuddin Aulia, be it Amir Khusro, Baba Farid. We have discussed about these scholars in our class on religious reform movements in India, Sufi versus the Bhakti period. And you would see how Urdu concepts have been shared not only by these poets, but we have another Hindu poets who have also brought about beautiful poetries. For example, Munshi Premchand's novels have been a remarkable work where a lot of Urdu fiction has taken into account. Similarly, Amir Khusro's poetry is well known. When it comes to journalism, first Urdu newspaper was Jame Jahan Numa, and this was brought by Harihar Datta. Harihar Datta was the son of Tarachand Datta, who was the founder of Samvad Kaumudi, which is a Bengali weekly newspaper. And later on, we had numerous editions of Urdu newspaper. It was in the form of Awadh Akhbar, it was in the form of Agra Akhbar, Delhi Urdu Akhbar, and so on and so forth. So Urdu prose, mainly in the form of Deccan poetry, also got witnessed, and there were numerous novelists that had developed their hold in terms of the novels. When it comes to promotion, we have the National Council for Promotion of Urdu Language, which is an autonomous body established under Government of India in 1996, and it has been employed with publication of books, distance learning, vocational learning, online training programs, and so on and so forth. We have a list of notable essayists and prose writers from Urdu. Now, post-independence, Hindi also gained a lot of, we could say, momentum, and there were two segments. One were the Pragatishil versus the Prayogvadi. Pragatishil were those who were progressive poets, and the Prayogvadis were those who were experimental in nature. So Agye was a Prayogvadi, and he wrote 11 poems on the tragedy of partition that happened, the India-Pakistan partition, and he also wrote a book which was Sharnarthi, that is refugees. Then there are some other scholars who talked about the sorrow of partition in the form of Dinkar, Nagarjun, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, Sohan Lal Dwivedi, and so on. When we talk about the Pragatishil versus Prayogvadi poets, we have a list of poets that have been there. The Prayogvadi mainly talked about the Tara Saptak and the Dusra Saptak, and there were collections. Saptak is a collection of 7 poems. And then we have writers from different fields. Dalit writers, tribal writers have brought in a different genre that has been seen. Now, Dalit writings have been seen a lot in Hindi, and there were numerous Hindi Dalit writers that were seen in the form of Rajat Rani Meenu. Then you have Jay Prakash Kadam as some of the major scholars. When it comes to tribal, Ramanika Gupta and Nirmala Putlu were some of the major writers who talked about the sorrows, the joys, and the tortures of the tribal people. Now, coming on to the developments, in India we have seen Param as a supercomputer that has talked about India's progress. We have brought in a lot of alternative to Chinese applications that has been there in the form of Mitro, Namaste, Chingari, GeoMeet as some of the common apps that you have seen. And the Department of Electronics, which was established in 1970, has been earmarking with the development. We are talking about a smart route, cashless ecosystem, Atmanirbhar Bharat, digital payments, PM Vani, which is the wireless access interface to boost the Digital India campaign, and there has been online systems that have been developed. Now, these online systems have also been linked to the production incentive system, talking about Indian companies like Lava and Micromax, in contrast to global companies like Apple and Samsung, which are also planning to bring in their foot into India. Then we have digitalization of medicine, pharmacy, health. Then we have education that has come into digital format. But beyond all this, we have been focusing on literature, translation services as one of the important aspects. Bringing up new startups, job creation with translation services has been important. Similar to the literatures that we have talked about Tamil literature, Kannada literature under Pampa. Similarly, Marathi literature has been important. Marathi literature rose under the Yadava dynasty once the Yadava declared themselves at Devagiri as independent, and they used Marathi as their court language. So it was the time where Bhakti movement was into move, and there had been Mahanubhav Panth and the Nath Panth, that was the two separate panths that is started, and we had followers. Now, Nath Panth was a medieval movement which combined the ideas from Yoga, Shaivism, Buddhism, and tried to have a unique logical literature of their own. Similarly, Mahanubhav Panth, basically founded by Chakradhar Swami, talked about accepting all the members as part of this panth, irrespective of their caste, and Leela Charitra was the first biography that was written in Marathi under this panth. There have been numerous creations that have been laid down. Sant Tukaram has been one of the popular poets of Marathi literature, whose poetry, which is known as the Abhang poetry, has been very, very important, known for its folk stories and the spiritual themes that is there. Now, there have been 5 periods under the Marathi criticism. The first was marked by the influence of Sanskrit criticism, which was under Ganesh Shastri Leele's Sahitya Shastra. Then we had the criticism of drama tradition during that time under Vishnu Shastri Chiplankar. The third was the art for the sake of art and the art for the sake of life, and that was the conflict that was there. The next important concept was the part of the criticism which was not only related to modern literature but also the literature theories. We have a series of Malayalam novels that was into fashion, and the Indulekha was one of the most significant Malayali novel of that time. Vishnu Devan Nayar's work has been again very, very important. C.V. Raman's work has been again important. Then besides that, there have been a series of works and novels, and the basis for those during the various eras. For example, Alohari Andanam was one of the novels which talked about expression of women, freedom of women. And then there had been the similar works which we have seen in Odia poetry. We have seen similar works in Punjab. In Punjab, we have the story of Heer Ranja. Then in Odia, we have the stories of Kedar Gori, which is one of the major poems that have talked about the metaphysical themes. Similarly, we have another important poems like Chilka, which has been important, and the story of Heer Ranja, which is much more renounced, where how Heer's parents first convinced Ranja, who was from a different tribe, and then there was a kind of agreement that they would be married, but he was sent out for all his arrangements, and in the meanwhile, Heer was killed. The moment Ranja got to know, Ranja killed his life, and that was a kind of a story, a common folklore which is popular in Punjab. So we talked about the different literature and the aspects of different literature and how they have evolved over the time. We would be covering many more interesting topics in Yojana and Kurukshetra on a weekly basis. So stay tuned on a monthly basis. So stay tuned with us, and we would be bringing in many more important concepts from this. You can see Tholka PM is one of the important sections from where you could have questions, and the developments under Hindi novelists, the Pragatishil and the Prayogwadi have been very, very important. We would be covering many more lectures. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead.